If you're local to the Watertown area, you might appreciate our next story. Former Watertown resident Dan Eastman visited recently and saw the changes after several years and was inspired to write. His book of humorous poems, titled Watertown, may resonate with some of you. Our Jolene DeRosier sat down with him and has more.
Well, thank you, Stefan. We do enjoy catching up with authors from the North Country and Eastern Ontario, and I have with me today a Watertown author who's living in Allentown, Pennsylvania right now, but we'll get to the reason why that is. But he wrote this great poetry and fiction collection, and it's gonna pop out of the screen, but we'll show it to you when we have some video to roll over that. But Dan Eastman is with us. Hey, Dan, how are you?
I am amazing. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you so much for joining us on WPBS Weekly. We really appreciate it. We wanted to check in with you because when I learned about this book that's just titled Watertown with your name on it, I had to learn more about it. And when I opened this book and I saw all of this fun poetry, and I mean fun, witty, and funny poetry, I had to give you a call. So my first question is, what compelled you to write this book?
I grew up in Watertown and I was visiting during the pandemic, and it was a ghost town, and I wanted to visit my relatives, and kind of writing is something that I do as sort of a hobby, and I have some friends who run like a small press back patio, and I wrote a string of poems that I threw into a Word document, and I just kind of threw over to them for laughs. That I had written about my hometown, and one of them got back to me within the next week and said, actually, if you want to explore this a little bit more, flesh it out, we can turn it into a full collection and release it in 2021. And I was like, really? All right, let's do it. So that was kind of like the driving factor of it, is when you're walking around or driving around a place that you grew up like that, there's obviously going to be a feeling of nostalgia. So that kind of spurred it on, especially the fact that there was no one there. I don't live there myself anymore, so I can only view things through rose shaded glasses. Like it says in the back of the book, a nostalgia trip for people who hate nostalgia trips. And that's what I wanted it to be.
One thing that I thought was fun about it, and you nail it with nostalgia, is most people, when they hear about Viggo Mortensen, they think Watertown. And on page 10 in your book, you have a little poem that's titled Viggo Mortensen. Why?
Yeah. Because Lord of the Rings was huge in high school, and that's sort of like when you're talking to like about small towns with people, you want to say like, how am I going to talk this up? What came from there? Who's famous? What started there?
Talk to me a little about Public Square. You've got Public Square and Public Square 2, pages 12 and 13. Everybody knows Public Square in Watertown.
So Public Square, the poems are kind of like the snarky things that we would say about it when we were younger. Like, it's not actually a square, I remember when I was in high school, I think somebody stole the statue or knocked it over with a car. Like there was always something that was happening to that statue before they had renovated it. All the storefronts were boarded up for a while. Now it's all remodeled. When I went up there, I was like, oh, this is what we wanted to see. There are actual stores and people opening businesses in there. That was what we idealized when I was growing up. We all left, and when I came back, it was like, oh, someone actually did something with this.
Just wrapping it up, tell me about some of your favorites in here.
Well, obviously the Viggo Mortensen poem. I think it definitely encapsulates the sense of humor for the entire, that's gonna like that poem, you're probably gonna like the rest of it. I like Grown Up Soup a lot. It's a big nostalgia piece for me. I think of trips when I was younger to St. Lawrence River, and just kind of how relaxing it was to sit on the shore and just watch like ships go by in the morning. I'm always an early riser, so just being able to like have that quiet of like waves rippling and seagulls, that's childhood to me.
Now this book is not for children.
It it's what adults would say is not for children, but it's not like, I wouldn't say that children don't talk to each other that way.
Well, I'm grateful for your time. I'm actually excited about this. When you sent it to me and I started to look at it, I thought, this is really great. And this could really become a classic because I think while it's in your voice with your sense of humor, there's a lot of truth to it. And folks that are from this area will agree with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that people are going to see things that they're familiar with. I've gotten a lot of good feedback from people that lived in Watertown, even people who are not from here, and they can look and say, like, I definitely recognize situations like that, and it feels like home to me, even though I'm not from there. I think what I really want people to, I'm not a poet or anything like that. I wrote this book, but I think what really drew me to it was the experience of being able to write something and do something creative with my friends and have fun with my friends. I'm in my mid-30s right now. And I think we lose that. And all I want to do right now is just do fun things with my friends if it's going to add value to my life. And I think that anyone who's like working at a cash register somewhere could easily do this. And that's what I want the big takeaway to be, is just to have someone see it and say, like, I can do that and do it.
Well, if folks want to pick it up and take a peek, where do they go?
They can go to backpatio.press. They are an up and coming independent literature press. They release about 3 books a year. Cool guys. And again, if you're into chill writing and that's something that you like to do as a hobby or wanting to give a shot, wait till their submissions open. They also run an online, it's like an online magazine.
Well, I appreciate your time, Dan. Good luck, and we look forward to the next one. Yes, no?
Something else will be happening sometime soon, but I'm not really sure when.
All
But
right.
Jolene, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining us, and maybe we'll do it again with the next one. You never know. So Stefan, I'm going to send it back to you. And remember, folks, you can pick this up. You see right there on the screen where you can go to buy the book and enjoy.